This car is rated R, intended for a mature audience. And now that it's been out for a bit, all the kids want to get in on it and have a taste. Today, I'm going to show you what makes it so desirable. After that, I will show you some of my favorite features. And in the end, I will point out some of the things that you should look for if you're planning to buy one of these. The SC430 is a fascinating blend of luxury, engineering prowess, and design. A roadster that still captures attention nearly 2 decades after it first hit the road. Originally released in 2001, the SC430 was Lexus's attempt to combine performance, luxury, and a touch of elegance in a single car with a drop top. It represented Lexus's first serious foray into the grand touring market, replacing the SC300 and 400 models and aimed squarely at the competitors like the Mercedes SL-Class. And they failed miserably. I mean, take a look at the production numbers. If you think the LC500 isn't selling well, maybe it's because of its predecessor. All joking aside, there's many reasons why these cars didn't sell, but to me, I think look was not one of them. The SC430 has a very distinct look. Many times it's described as yacht-inspired, which I think it is. It was clearly meant for those who love the finer things in life, like the top-tier leather interior and the real wood inside the car. The hardtop convertible feature was one of its main attractions, giving drivers the option of a cozy coupe or a breezy convertible to drive around. And more importantly, that the roof, compared to some of the competitors in its time, was all electric as opposed to hydraulic, which causes a lot of issues. Under the hood, the SC430 is powered by a 4.3-liter V8 producing 288 horsepower and 317 pounds of torque, paired with a 5-speed automatic transmission, which was later upgraded to the 6-speed. And this setup doesn't make it a hardcore sports car, but it is fast enough to provide a spirited drive with silky smooth acceleration and plenty of power for highway cruising. So driving the SC430 feels like gliding. It's smooth, it's composed, it's a real joy on open roads. It's not the car that's meant to tackle, the drag and tail, but rather enjoy it at leisurely pace. So where the focus here is style and comfort. So for anyone considering a Lexus SC430, you'll be getting a beautifully built vehicle with Lexus's trademark for reliability, a solid V8 engine, and a sense of style that's both nostalgic and timeless. Whether you're cruising down a coastal highway or taking the scenic drive through town, the SC430 reminds you that sometimes luxury isn't about pushing boundaries, but about embracing a smooth, enjoyable ride. So now let's look inside and take a look at some of my favorite features, starting with the convertible top. Now this was a very iconic feature at the time, not only because it makes the car look robotic and cool, but because it was also electric hardtop as opposed to hydraulics on some of the other vehicles. To open it up, you simply push this button right here and the top starts to do its thing. I'm like a kid. Every time I open up one of these convertible tops, it's just cool to see it transform. This one is relatively quick and quiet. The interior on these cars are just so elegant. They're beautiful. I prefer the darker colors, although I've seen some caramel camel colors that look really well against the darker color exteriors. But in here, if you like wood, there's lots of it here, and it's all real. As we can see here, you actually have all this dashboard area, center console, and some in the door panel, all real wood like I said. And check this out, you have these little button here that open up these secret doors to hide your nasty electronics. Nobody wants to see that, but simply you press this button here and it's very gently and smoothly revealing the stereo right behind it. Now, at the time, this was one of the very few cars that still had cassette players left in their vehicles. To open the top right here, there's also an open and close button here. You simply press this button right here to either open or close, and that will reveal the navigation or the touch screen. Now everything in this car functions very, very smoothly. You open up these beautiful cup holders right here that magically open and close. I mean, look at this. It's like a work of art. That is fantastic. In the center console, under the armrest, you have two access doors here, one at the very top for smaller items and one at the bottom for larger items. Now what's cool about this is you can use your valet key or your regular key to lock this bottom area so that people can access that if you're valeting your car. It's a pretty neat feature for privacy purposes. You can also do that with your glove compartment, which is down here, and it's a decent size glove compartment. The dashboard is, you have the tripods, which we started to see this, with the GS, first generation GS, and some of the other cars in the Lexus lineup, but it's really cool looking. Now, obviously this is, not a sports car, so you don't have the RPM focus right in the middle as you would with a Porsche 911, which this is not competing against, but it is a very nice, very clean design. You have pretty much all the features that you would come to expect in a luxury car of the time. Telescopic, fully adjustable steering wheel with your controls right here for volume, cruise control, etc. Light and wiper controls as you would expect in any Lexus. And then right up here you have your climate control as well as your navigation and your infotainment controls. The shifter's right here in the center console, and it has these steps that you have to go through to engage the different gears. This is a safety mechanism at the time to prevent you from engaging the wrong gear by accident. You have your VSC control here and a transmission control, which gives you the capability of setting your car into power or snow. And right here you have probably one of the coolest coin drawers you will ever see. There's this little sliding button that you push and it'll gently and magically open up this little area for you to grab your little coins right out of here. Now there are back seats over here, but trust me, this is strictly for insurance purposes. You cannot fit anything back here but luggage. It is just absolutely impossible. Oh, I mean, this seat is basically all the way back, and you cannot get back here. Oh. Oh. I guess we can ride like this. On the outside, the SC has a bunch of really cool features, like these door handles, which have like a chrome exterior part. It reminds me a lot like the old luxury luggage that would have like metal on the outside with a color or leather covering up top. Very cool looking. You have a few different options for wheels, and up front you have the headlight washers as well, with some chrome accents and the projector headlights. Now keep in mind that the SC is basically the same size as a Miata. It's just a little bit longer. If I compare it to my NC Miata, almost the same. Now in the back, to access the trunk area, there's a button inside that helps you open this area is the only way that I've been able to access the trunk space. I don't know if there's another way that you can access it from back here. If somebody knows, put it in the comments below. But especially with the top down, your space is very, very much decreased in here. You barely have space for anything. You can put maybe a golf bag in here or a couple of small suitcases, and that's about it. With the top up, this gives you a little bit more space to put a few items in here, but not that much. Now, if you have this piece off, the convertible top will not work. There's a sensor in here that prevents that from happening, so you have to have this cover in place in order for the convertible top to operate. And now you're really pumped and excited to buy one of these. So allow me to highlight some of the things that you should look for if you're planning to buy one. I made a video to show you general things to look for when buying any car, like signs of wear, leaks, etc. I've also created a checklist so that you don't miss any steps. The link is included below. Use that as your starting point. But now let's dig into things to look for this car specifically that I think can be costly repairs. Now, keep in mind that it's never a bad idea to bring along a car savvy friend with you who is familiar with these cars to help you look for things. If you found one that you have your heart set on, I would also recommend that you get a PPI, or a pre-purchase inspection, done by an experienced Lexus shop or the Lexus dealership. It'll be the best $200 that you spend on the car. Right, let's get right into it. Let's start right down here with suspension issues, both front and rear. Aging components such as bushings, struts, links, etc. may cause the suspension to make certain noises. So while you're doing your test drive, go through bumps, uneven surfaces, and listen for any kind of unusual noises in the suspension. Now, the good thing is that these cars are highly supported, both in the original manufacturer equipment market and in the aftermarket equipment as well. So you will have no shortage of parts for these vehicles. And while we're here, let's talk about brake issues. Some of these vehicles suffer from seized calipers. So as you go on your test drive, also be on the lookout for brake noises. Look at the rotors and the calipers for uneven wear, anything that triggers or signals some sort of issue with the caliper seizing. And the other thing that I want to point out while we're here is the power steering rack. Some people have complained about the power steering rack leaking and eventually failing. So make sure to look underneath, try to spot any leaks with your power steering rack, because that could be a costly repair. Next, let's talk about the power roof. Although these are a lot more reliable than the hydraulic power rooftops, they can still develop some issues. So be sure to look around, look at all the seals around the top components, and look at the mechanisms, okay? Sometimes you may develop issues and some of the sensors in here may not be detecting that the parts are where they need to be, and that can be causing some issues with your operation of your hardtop. So be sure to look throughout this whole area for any signs of wear, components rubbing too hard, or anything not working properly. Look at all the seals and operate the top up and down multiple times to ensure you have no functional issues with your hardtop, as this can be very, very costly. In the interior, be sure to check out the dash and all the interior components for cracks, stretched fabrics, etc., as this can be quite the job to repair or replace. You can look at it both from within the car and through the windshield to make sure that you don't see any cracks or the actual material pulling away. In the engine compartment, I want to highlight an issue that has been highlighted by some owners. Earlier SC430s came in with a rubber line for your VVTi oil mechanism, and later that was upgraded to a metal line, which is more durable. So be sure to look around for signs of oil leaks or any kind of like puddling of oil at the bottom of the car as well. This could be an expensive repair also. And while we're down here, let's talk about the timing belt. Make sure that the car that you're buying has had proper maintenance, especially as it relates to the timing belt. These are usually replaced around 80, 90, 100,000 miles. Some people replace them earlier. It really depends. Look for records where it shows that the owner has followed the recommended maintenance schedule. Otherwise, you're going to be paying a lot of money to get that timing belt replaced. Lastly, I want to talk about recalls. The best option to find out recall information is to go to your manufacturer's website. I've included the link below. In the US, you can also visit the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration. The link is also included below. For either option, simply enter your 17-digit VIN number, and that will give you a list of open recalls for your vehicle. That's it, everybody, and what a great car the SC430 is. And with a cult-like following and all the great features that we talked about, low production numbers, I forecast that these are gonna skyrocket in price very, very soon. If I missed something, please add it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next video.